warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So in this video I will be teaching you topic of socialization. So for this topic it is divided into four. The first one is the what part. Okay, what is socialization? Okay, the second one is the significance and the importance of socialization. Part 3 is the types of socialization and agencies of socialization, and last but not least is the theories of socialization. So basically guys, in order for you to understand this topic, in order for you to master an essay, okay, sociology essay, all right, you need to master all these parts: part 1, part 2, part 3, and as well as part 4. Okay, when you understand all these 4 parts, then you master the topic of socialization. So as I mentioned earlier, this topic will be divided into 4 parts so that you don't feel overwhelmed with the information that I will be sharing with you all. Okay, now let's look at the first part first. Okay. Okay. So what? So part 1, what? You need to understand what is socialization. So basically socialization is the process, okay, through which children learn to be an effective, can you see that word, effective members of the society. So the most important word that I want to highlight you here, especially for part 1, is ineffective members of the society. Now, how can you be an effective members of the society? All right, so always remember this: you, home, society, they are all connected. How are you being connected? You share something, right, what the society want, and you share and you have something what the family want. And when you have that traits, that's when you become an effective members of the society. Okay, an effective members of the society. So the question now is, how can you be an effective member of the society? All right, that's number 1. And number 2, how to be an effective members of the society, and how does socialization shape you to become an effective members of the society. Now let's look at the first one first. So how does it transmitted? So that's the first question. So basically you children, okay, not you, as younger generation, basically children, basically, in order for them to be an effective members of the society, they must learn, okay, what the society want them to behave, how they want to behave. Okay, the society want them to behave. So basically, according to sociologists, okay, socialization, it transmit, okay, it transmit core values, belief and religious belief of the society, norms and even traditions of the society through the process of socialization. And often these values 1, 2, 3, 4 are being passed on by the previous generation, okay, to the next generation. So we need previous generation in order to transmit these 1, 2, 3, 4 values to the next generation. By having these 3 or 4 values, then you become an effective members of the society. Okay, now why socialization is important? The important part of socialization is that it shapes your identity. Number 1, it shapes your, another word for this one is your behavior. Okay, it shapes your personality. So your personality, your behavior, your role at home, and even your identity, how you bring yourself, how you identify yourself, okay, you learn this through the process of socialization. Okay, so if you can see here, there are 2 types of identity: personal identity and social identity. So for personal identity, it's your own identity, okay, it's personal to you, and you constantly change, okay, that define who you are, that mark who you are, which distinct if you compare to other people. Whereas for social identity, is identity that are required, okay, for you to behave. For example, your role as a brother, that's a social identity, okay, in the family. Or your role as a student, that's a social identity required by the school. Or your role as a good citizen, so that's your social identity required by the society. Now that's number 1. Number 2, your way of life, okay, your culture. If you notice that your culture, Malay culture for example, Chinese culture for example, if you compare this with Indian culture, all right, or Afro-Caribbean culture, or Korean culture, or even the Caucasian culture or the white culture, they are not the same. Why is that? Because you have your own way of life. Okay, now let's proceed to the next one. Social being. Can you see that? Now let me just write here human being, okay, plus social being. What's the difference between these two? We know that we are human being. Yeah, I am human being. The way you look, the way you walk, the way you talk, you say I'm a human being. I say I'm human being. But then again, in sociologists, they use the word social being, and social being was used by Durkheim. Okay, who is Durkheim? Durkheim is a functionalist. Okay, he used the word social being in order to explain your behavior, not the same like other people's behavior. According to Durkheim, human being and social being, these two terms are not the same. So in order to become social being, yeah, you need to have social skills. What are the social skills needed by the society? You need to have language for you to communicate. You need to have your proper way to eat, proper way to sit, potty training, for example, a proper way to behave. Okay, why do you need to possess, or why do you need to have all these skills? Because you need to be, okay, fit in the society. The society wants you to behave according to what they want, what the society want. So in order for you to behave according to what the society want, you have to be trained to have the specific skills based on what the society want. And the specific skills is what we call social skills. And if you have these social skills, then you are an effective member of the society. Okay, an effective members of the society. Now we go back to our question again. So if social being is not the same as human being, so what is human being then? So it means that, okay, it means that although we are human being, what's so interesting about us is that we are social individuals. What does it mean? It means that we are able to communicate, we follow what the society want, okay? We follow what the rules and regulations of the society, for example, the school, for example, the religion, for example. So what about human being then? So human being are those individuals who don't have these social skills. So when they don't have these social skills, so what happened to them? They behave differently. Okay, they don't behave like you. So example, so just use movie lah. Just look at Tarzan, for example. Okay, just look at Jungle Book. What can you tell me about these two example? You will see that the way they behave, okay, the way they communicate, totally different than you. So that's the difference between human being and social being. So to be an effective members of society, socialization is important. Okay, from the socialization, you will learn what the society wants you to behave, and by instilling all this value, then you become the effective members of the society. So that's the first one. Okay, so and because of that, you become a social being. All right.